Here we are on Clothesline, the show where we wring them clean, string them up and put them to dry on the clothesline. Last week has been a particularly devastating one for residents of Jammu and Kashmir, with floods ravaging the region. As we shoot this episode, over 200 people have been killed, and now the floodwaters are receding. While the people of Jammu and Kashmir had to deal with loss of lives, flooding, loss of possessions, health concerns, there was one threat no one was prepared for. That's right. NDTV was in the valley, and this was a 15-minute feature. A few good men and a boat. Before we begin, we must clarify that this is not a sequel to this or this. It was, in fact, Barkha Dutt's report from Kashmir, where we were treated to stunning observations like this.
आप लोग कितने दिन से यहाँ फंसे हुए हैं?
हम यहाँ पर 4 दिन से फंस रहे हैं।
और बच्चा भी आपका छोटा है।
Good observation, Barkha. And here are some equally good responses for you. A. No, I'm a ventriloquist and this is my dummy. B. No, this is my father. He has the same condition as Benjamin Button. Or C. This is actually my brother. He just shrunk because he got really wet. Barkha, you have a poor Jawan who's supposed to be out there to save people. He's a human harness for you so that you can make important observations like that. But there was no stopping Barkha, who was at her observational best.
आप तो बिल्कुल पानी में खड़े हैं। आप क्या हालचाल है घर में?
I'm glad you broke the news to him, Barkha. He must have been so confused trying to figure out why his shoes were damp. Then there was Anchal Vora, who is doing her best to keep up with Barkha's brilliance with this, oh God.
Paradise on earth is drowning.
Is this a news report or slam poetry? Oh, but it only gets worse. Just watch. And don't laugh. Just watch.
Waters of the Jhelum have swallowed the streets of Srinagar and has crashed in the homes, becoming an uninvited guest.
We're assuming she means guest. And this flood was less of an uninvited guest and more of a deranged hockey mask wearing serial killer. Or maybe Anchal just knows more interesting people than we do. The poetry finally stopped. But then she did this.
Do you think by tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, you will carry on your work here till the time you've rescued everybody?
No, we'll only rescue a few. India has a population problem after all. While their bravery must be commended, we have to commend our army for putting up with NDTV's journalists. In fact, Anchal unwittingly told us what the army's biggest challenge was.
Another challenge that the army has. I've been, on the operations with the forces.
Okay, so we took that quote out of context, but it doesn't make it any less true. She was a challenge. Anchal on the boat was bad enough, but Anchal in the air, oh, just watch.
A child has just been rescued. We just can't have a word with him. Aapka naam kya hai?
Barely out of his harness and Anchal's already shoving a mic down his throat. The competition was on. Who could make a bigger fool of themselves?
Aapki family kahan hai?
No, why would he? That way he can be like Peter Pan, free from silly things like family. What makes a person ask such a stupid question? Luckily for the boy, the army wasn't as thick as Anchal and rescued his family without asking. Still, Anchal wasn't done. Moments after the boy's mother was rescued, Anchal decided to add to her ever-growing list of stupid and pointless questions. Oof. No, Anchal. She doesn't want to thank them. She actually wants to pelt them with stones. What really shocked us is that the limited space on choppers for flood victims is wasted on Anchal Vora so she can further traumatize the army, flood victims and her viewers. For being as bad in the air as she was on the air, we'd like to give Anchal Vora a Gadha Award. An honorable mention also to NDTV's Sudhir Ranjan Sen, as well, who asked Kashmiri children whether they were happy that they didn't have to go to school. Yeah, they're also happy there's no curfew, no bombs going off because everything is wet, and that they won't get yelled at by their mothers because nobody's seen her in the last 5 days. Unfortunately for us, NDTV did not upload the clip. Fortunately for Sudhir Ranjan Sen, he still earns a Gadha from us. NDTV, it isn't elections that's in your DNA, it's stupidity. Arnab has made a habit of doing this.
I have a letter I want to show Mr. Sambit Patra. So we know transparently what the truth of Air India is. You know, anguished employees of Air India write a letter. Page number 143. Sir, read before you speak. Page number 143. No, 1 minute. 1 minute. I have with me a medical report. No, 1 second. I have with me a medical report. Is the name Shashi Tharoor or not? Is the name of Shashi Tharoor? Are you reading it? It's right here.
Brandishing documents and forcing panelists to read things usually puts panelists on the back foot. But then, when Arnab tried the same thing with Praful Patel, things didn't go as planned.
You don't have the minutes.
Of course I have the minutes. No, first take that back, Mr. Patel. I have the minutes.
If you want
the minutes, I'll give them to you.
Read it out for your benefit.
I'll read it out.
I will read out the minutes for your benefit.
Mr. Patel. Let's read it out. Okay.
Please don't.
No, let me read it out to you.
I will read out the minutes.
No, I will read it out to you, Mr. Patel. 1 minute. No, Mr. Patel, let me read it out to you because I want to read out. I want to read out the relevant part.
1 second.
No, let me read out the relevant part.
Of 2nd August.
1 second.
The Chairman and Managing Director of Air India was of the view
that although the present proposal did not fully cater to the requirements of Air India's fleet, the additional requirements of aircraft, yes,
could be projected separately.
Arnab thought he had a scoop, but Praful came prepared. Arnab, did you really expect that the man who was minister himself wouldn't have access to the minutes of a meeting that he himself held? Still, Arnab wasn't done. Watch.
Mr. Patel, you are really made a big mistake right now. You've made a big mistake right now.
What's the mistake?
You see, you made a big mistake.
Arey bhai, what is the mistake?
You just made a very big mistake.
Are you going to tell us or not? What's the mistake?
You just made a very big mistake, Mr. Patel.
Why this suspense?
You made a very big mistake right now, Mr. Patel. Very big mistake.
Teaser, trailer. Why are you stalling?
You made 2 mistakes.
Acknowledge a mistake.
You made 2 mistakes.
2 mistakes now? Okay, let's hear them.
So I'll tell you the mistake. The mistake you made. The mistake you made. You forgot to mention.
I'm willing to acknowledge.
You forgot to mention that the meeting of 2nd August 2004 was taken by you, headed by you.
Yes. Obviously, who will chair? Okay. The minister will chair.
After all that build-up, you just state the obvious. Wah bhai wah. I can't believe I'm on the side of the politician this time. Incredible. Now, if Arnab didn't manage to trap him, he succeeded at trapping GVL Narasimha Rao of the BJP during a debate on Congress MLAs going to Europe on holiday.
So my question here is this now. No, but Mr. Rao, 1 minute, Mr. Rao, take the question. We're limited time. We're opening up, and many others also want to come into the debate. Would you like to categorically say that everybody who is taking part in this trip, that everybody who is doing this today, disrespecting the trauma that their constituents are going through, the trouble they are facing, and instead whining and dining around on whoever's money, that they should just be thrown out of the Legislative Assembly, that they have no right to be in politics? Would you agree, Mr. Rao?
When Arnab tries to get an answer out of you like that, you just know he has something up his sleeve.
The least that can be done is to suspend, because MLAs cannot leave the country without informing the leader of the legislature party. If Siddaramaiah is saying, I don't know, I think he's been completely ineffective. He doesn't know what's happening with his MLAs. How is he going to govern Karnataka?
Sir, you just landed yourself in quicksand.
If you'd watched as much of the news as we do, you'd know you were walking into an ambush and Arnab was waiting with both barrels loaded.
While the majority, 13 out of the 16 MPs are from the Congress party, the member of parliament, the member of Legislative Assembly whose name I just took, Pratap Gowda Patil, whose constituency is worst affected by the floods, belongs to a party called the Bharatiya Janata Party.
But this time, he ended up shooting himself in the foot.
I have all the information you have.
No, sir.
There is nobody from the BJP.
No, sir. No, sir.
I would like you to... No. That's not factually correct.
Sir, one person
15 Congress MLAs. 15... No, it's not correct.
One person is Pratap Gowda Patil.
It's not correct.
So there is a little confusion on Pratap Gowda Patil.
He's ill-informed.
No, there is a confusion on Pratap Gowda Patil, whether he's from the BJP or the Congress. We'll have to check that part out. There are reports that he's from the Congress. In that case, I stand corrected. But the point remains.
Arnab, which point remains? Your whole argument against poor Mr. Rao was based on something that was factually incorrect. And it would take even the slowest intern 10 seconds on Google to tell you that. But you still don't completely retract your statement. Why? That's just misleading viewers. 2 mistakes in a row, Arnab. You're supposed to be Superman, grill Pakistanis, and be the voice of the nation. You can't afford to get two things wrong in a row. You won't be able to be Superman. Watch it. Then we had the Chinese visit to India, which had the Indian news media in a tizzy. So much so that the Hindustan Times ran the gloriously titled article, "Enter the Dragon," with an image which was not Chinese. The dragon happened to be Welsh. We can only imagine what Chinese publications would do if they followed this "India tiger, any tiger will do" logic. While they didn't do that, what they did do was this. This was China's Global Times, who ironically are living in a time gone by. Thank you to serial contributor Arnab for that spot. 2 thumbs up from us. Then there was IBN Live, who ran this article with this image. Either they're plain wrong, or Modi's talks with the Chinese are going better than we thought. Then there was the hashtag I stand with Deepika fiasco. While Bollywood, which includes Deepika, perpetuates the most regressive and sexist stereotypes, she still gets a Dhobi Ki Chutki award for being the first actress in our memory to come out and slam the press for cheapness. Border skirmishes started on the 14th of this month when the Times of India carried this ad claiming that it has 38% more readership than the Hindustan Times. Morning is broken. And so is the truth. All because the Indian readership survey revealed way back in January that the Hindustan Times had the largest readership in the National Capital Region. So why has the Times of India woken up now? Well, we're hearing all kinds of stories, so you can speculate along with us. The Hindustan Times returned fire with this. And things have only gotten murkier and more intense. Is it just bragging rights they're fighting for? No. To the winner goes the spoils, in this case, more ad revenue. Ads are important enough for 2 of the largest newspapers to go at each other's throats. So when we say we'd like to remain ad-free, you have to understand that it's a big deal, and without your help, it isn't possible. If you believe in putting paid news out of business and bringing integrity back, then please join our I Pay to Keep News Free campaign and help us make news a public service again. The longer you wait, the more entrenched paid news gets. So what are you waiting for? Look what this Pakistani anchor has to do for a living. He's amazing. I think he's the best. Much more dedicated than our Indian anchors. Go for it.
मदारी बंदर और बंदर के बच्चे को नचाकर अपने लिए 2 वक्त की रोजी कमाते हैं. इनका कहना है कि महंगाई के इस दौर में अगर ये बंदर अपनी परफॉर्मेंस ना दे तो फिर इनके लिए रोजी कमाना मुश्किल हो जाता है. कैमरामैन इम्तियाज अली के साथ वसीम हैदर, समा, कराची.
Well, that's a wrap for the week. If you saw any moments from journalism that made you go, oh wow, or oh crap, write into us or tweet to us. Subscribe to our newsletter and support our I Pay to Keep News Free campaign. We are the change. You are the change. For better or worse, never do nothing. Stay connected, stay online.